Morning children. In the chapter of physical features of India, we have studied about the Himalayas, northern mountain regions. Today we will discuss about the northern plain. The south of the Himalayas, there lies the northern plains. The northern plain has been formed by the interplay of the three major river system. There are three rivers flowing through these northern plain regions, which means these three rivers are most importantly originating from the Himalayas and flowing through the northern plains, Indus, Ganga and the Brahmaputra. These and its tributaries are all flowing through the northern plains. Tributaries means its branches or it there are many small rivers which are joining the major river. So the plain is formed of alluvial soil. Large regions of alluvial soil is available in this region. The deposition of alluvium in vast basin lying in the foothills of the Himalayas millions of years ago. So this alluvium which is deposited by the rivers which are flowing through these regions were formed very millions of years ago, and these regions are very fertile part of our country also. It spreads over an area of 7 lakh square kilometers, the area of northern plain. Its width also sometimes ranging, and this plain also being about 2400 kilometers long and 240 to 320 kilometers broader. It's also densely populated physiographic division of our country. Large population we can find in these northern plains. In our country, population density also is very high in this northern plain. This with a rich soil cover combined with the adequate water supply. Soil is very fertile, water supply also is abundantly available. These are the factors making that also climate is favorable, so that agriculture productivity is very larger in this sector, in this area. So northern plains are well developed in agriculture. The rivers coming from the northern mountains are involved in the depositional works. We know that when the rivers are flowing from the northern mountains regions, flowing through these regions, when the course of the lower course of the river, on the gentle slope of this area also causing the velocity of river decreasing. So the speed of the river decreases there, so that these riverine islands are also formed here. What are the islands within the river? Okay, in the river some regions islands are also formed because of this river becomes lower in the lower regions. So that there are many islands are formed especially in the river. Such kind of one island we can say they are inhabited by the people also. Majuli in the Brahmaputra river, it is the largest inhabited riverine island in the world. So people, large population settled in this region also, so in this island also. The rivers in their lower courses split into numerous channels. We know that when this larger river is flowing through the plain regions, there are very gentle slopes are there. The flow of water or the river also becomes slower here. So when it is slowly moving, this river will be depositing the sediments on the banks of these rivers. So these channels are also created here. Many channels are created, many smaller rivers are also created. It is broken into numerous channels. So such kind of channels are known as distributaries. Remember the difference between the tributaries and the distributaries. Okay. The northern plain also very broadly divided into three sectors. We can say the western part of the northern plain is referred to as the Punjab plains. Extent, this is the western part in the north. Western part, these regions are called the 1, 2, 3. So the western part of the northern plains are called the Punjab plains. Okay, then formed by the Indus and its tributaries. So these rivers we can find the Indus and its tributaries. There are five tributaries for the Indus River. We have studied that. Now the major regions for Punjab plains are lying in Pakistan now. And the Indus and its tributaries like the Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas and Satluj. These all rivers are originating from the Himalayas. This section of the plain is dominated by the Doabs. This word or this term you might have studied in previous classes also. Doab. This is what is the meaning of do? Do means this Hindi word do means made up of two words. Do means meaning two and ab means water. So that the regions or the areas lying between or the land lying between the two rivers is called Doab. Similarly, Punjab is also a meaning, word made up of two words. Punch meaning five or punch. Ab meaning water. So that five rivers are flowing through Punjab or the land of five rivers that are the Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas and Satluj. These are the five rivers and joining to become the river Indus. Okay, so the Ganga plain also, which is extending between the Ghaggar and the Teesta rivers, it is spread over the states of North India, Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar. So these regions in the centrally located. Okay, so the Punjab plains and other regions, the Ganga plain extending these regions between the Ghaggar and Teesta rivers. So these all states like Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar and partly are the regions of Jharkhand and West Bengal also towards the east direction. These are all coming to the into the central plain, northern plain. Okay, the northern plains are generally described as flat and with no variations in itself. Most of this land is northern plains are flat, and it's not often people say that because agriculture is done here, it's not true. It's not true that everywhere it is flat. Some regions there are variations also. Mostly people consider that northern plains are flat land because of large agriculture productivity is done here. Rivers are flowing also. Mostly gentle slopes are found. Some of the variations in the relief features we can find the northern plains can be divided into four regions also. The rivers after descending from the mountains deposit pebbles in a narrow belt of about say 8 to 16 kilometers width. We can find the rivers originating from the Himalayas. In the beginning stages they are depositing large pebbles, large stones and pebbles, or some of the regions about 8 to 16 kilometers in width lying parallel to the slopes of the Shivalik regions. So this region is known as Bhabar, and all the streams disappear in Bhabar belt. South of the Bhabar belt again when it is flowing downwards, the streams and rivers re-emerge and create a wet and swampy marshy region known as Terai. So in the beginning stage from the extreme northern part, these regions are with largely pebbles. These regions we can find pebbles and it's also very narrow belt. These are known as the Bhabar, and south of the Bhabar when it is coming towards downwards we can find wet and swampy. Swampy means marshes only, wet land. So marshy or wet land or swampy regions are there. They are known as Terai. Then after that also this is also we know that a widely thickly forested region. It was full of wildlife. Earlier this was largely forested regions, but these forests were cleared when that for agricultural purposes also, and for the migrants who came from Pakistan after partition, for settling the migrants also, this region was made cleared and forests were cut down in order to create settlements and also for the agricultural purpose of the migrants. This region we can locate the Dudhwa National Park also. Largest part of the northern plain is formed by the older alluvium. Alluvial soils or older alluvium is found here. It lies above the floodplains of the rivers and presents a terrace-like feature. Flat feature or terrace or level land is available here, and this is older alluvium. So these regions of older alluvium is known as Bhangar. So the soil in this region contains calcareous deposits, that means locally known as Kangar nodules. We know that what is the word is used in Hindi only, the Kangar, and these regions are largely we call Bhangar region. Also we can find the newer or the younger deposits of the floodplains are called Khadar. Older alluvium or the alluvial deposits are called Bhabar, and also after that the newer or younger deposits of flood plains are called Khadar. Okay, so the difference, newly formed alluvium deposits are called Khadar. This why it is called newly formed, because it is almost every year due to the river flowing it will be renewed, and this soil will be washed away and it will be renewed, and so it becomes more fertile also. So this is very good for ideal for intensive agriculture also. People cultivate this region also because of the fertility of the soil. That's all for today about the northern plains, and we will study more about the peninsular plateau regions tomorrow. Thank you.